and wanted to know if he should fly to China to spend $20,000 plus all the expenses involved for a risky and experimental stem cell treatment that they read about on the internet. That person needed serious information. I also get many questions from friends and family and acquaintances. For example, new parents who want to know, should they vaccinate their children to protect them from disease, or should they worry about all those risks they've been hearing about and reading about on the internet? And then there are the more simple questions like, should you really wait an hour after eating before going swimming? Now, we're all ultimately responsible for our own health and our own health care and for that of our children. Yes, there are healing professionals like myself who are there to help, to advise, give you information, perform technical procedures like surgery, of course, that you can't do yourself. But ultimately, we make our health care decisions for ourselves. We also live our lives day to day, not under the care of a professional, but making decisions that affect our health day to day. Now, we live in the age of information, and where everyone can be their own expert because you can simply go on the internet and get access to all the information that professionals have access to. Now, being armed with accurate information can help us make the best health decisions for ourselves and our families. But the flip side is being confused by myths and misinformation can be dangerous, sometimes even deadly. You know, sometimes even physicians are still harboring medical myths and could learn to correct it and hear the truth. Now, there is a tremendous amount of healthcare information on the internet. In fact, 2/3 of adults in a recent Pew poll said that they go on the internet specifically to search for healthcare information. It is one of the most common types of information that is available on the internet. There's so much, in fact, that people are overwhelmed with too much information, and it can be bewildering to sort through all the various conflicting sources and claims. On the internet and elsewhere, there are rumors, there are urban legends, there are myths that are spread as fact, sometimes even seeming authoritative. There are many ideological groups that are spreading misinformation because they want to promote their particular worldview. And there are plenty of people who are trying to separate you from your money by making false or misleading marketing claims or using hype in order to promote a product rather than real information. And of course, there are lazy and sometimes sensationalistic journalists who are promoting it all. Now, still, the single most reliable source of reliable information are healthcare professionals themselves, and don't be afraid to use those resources. Your physicians are there primarily to advise you, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Some other tips on making the most of that resource: when you do have a visit with a physician or other healthcare professional, come prepared. If you are going to do some research on your own, do it before you go in, and go in with specific questions. Physicians basically expect that these days, and it's part of the interaction. Bring a friend or family member, because the more people that are in the room hearing the information, the more you will remember, the more you will take home. That's clear. Don't be afraid to ask for more time if you feel you need it, even if that requires making another appointment. The most important part of the interaction with the physician and a patient is the educational component, and make sure you get that out of it. And also, don't neglect your wellness visits. This is part of the reason why you want to go to a physician even when you're well, so that they can update you on things you should be doing to stay healthy. For most healthy adults, an annual visit is fine. Of course, if you have a chronic illness, you may want to visit more frequently. And also, don't be shy about seeking or asking for second opinions. It's pretty much par for the course these days, and you shouldn't shy away from it. Now, other than your physician, there are other trusted sources as well. And if you are wading through the information on the internet, you need to have some rules of thumb to try to figure out what sources are likely to be reliable and which ones should you avoid. Trusted sources include known universities, my own institution of Yale, or also Harvard, the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins. Those old and trusted names are good sources of reliable information. There are also many research institutions like the National Institutes of Health, the National Cancer Institute, the Muscular Dystrophy Association. There are professional organizations like the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Academy of Neurology, pretty much one for every specialty that there is. And there are many patient or disease advocacy groups like the Multiple Sclerosis Society. But there are also a lot of posers. Anyone can create a snazzy website and make it seem like they're an impressive organization. So here are some red flags to look out for. Beware of